Well, good morning in what I hope to be an excellent trip home. It's Wednesday, it's about 10 to 8 in the morning, and we are getting ready to leave the pepper mill and head back to our house. So we're going to take a little different route home. We're going to head up I-5. We want to check out Mount Shasta, go through Weed. So we're going to head up through Medford and probably stay in Eugene tonight. So we'll see some new superchargers, we'll see some new scenery, and again, I just love bringing you along on this ride, and I'd love a like and a subscribe. So please hit that like and come along for the drive. And as we head on out of here, I'm just going to share a little trip details. It's Wednesday in August. I believe it's August 16th or 17th. I don't quite remember. I've been having too good of a time. But total distance traveled so far has been 888 miles. We've used 285 kilowatt hours energy, and we've been averaging 321 watt hours a mile, which is pretty good considering that the car is rated, its range rating is at 300 watt hours a mile. So we're going to head on home and we'll see what we see. All right, and here we go, headed off. 888 miles to Reno, so we are headed home. We're going to stop in Medford, we're going to stop in Eugene tonight and probably charge in Susanville.
I'm looking for the fork.
And here we go. And a little of the view heading out of Reno. We are on I-80, I do believe. Yep, I-80 headed west. We're going to go to Chico. The Susanville Supercharger was temporarily shut down, and so the car was being weird. So I just told it to go to Chico. It probably add a little time to our trip, but we'll go up I-5. So anyway, pretty views. Hope we see some cool more stuff. All right, we are going through Donner Pass currently. Beautiful, California. For anybody not familiar, Donner Pass is relatively infamous for cannibalism when a wagon train was coming over and they got stranded and they had to eat each other to stay alive. So, interesting little tidbit there as we climb up into California, headed to Chico because the Susanville Supercharger was shut down. All right, we just summited Donner Pass at 7,529 feet, so we are almost a mile and a half high here. We got a downhill grade for the next 40 miles, so we're going to get back a lot of juice, so we can go a little bit quicker, and our regen should help out quite a bit. Looks like they had some pretty major road slides or mudslides through here. We're on State Route 20 in California. A little bit of a back way, taking our trip. We got redirected from Chico to Corning. So again, the car's dynamically kind of figuring out where it needs to go. So we've got 126 miles to go to Corning, California Supercharger. We thought we'd show you this kind of nifty road construction. A lot of stuff going on here. Single lane. Oh yeah, there's some up there too. Excavator. Very cool. All right. And we are just rolling by what looked like a really big gravel quarry. Now you can see the road headed up to it. A little hard to see at this point, but very cool spot. We are on, again, still on State Route 20, heading through California, headed northwest to Corning. And right here out on the right-hand side, you get a little view of that quarry there. Yeah, pretty cool. Wonderful. Well, again, thanks for joining us. And here we are. Again, we, for the most part, trust Tesla's navigation. And it has taken us onto a bunch of farm roads. And I guess it's like a bypass to get back to the Highway 20. So we're taking a shortcut, and it's just kind of wild. But, you know, we trust it, and it hasn't let us down yet. So, yeah. And our first California palm trees. And more beautiful California farmland. Still on the shortcut, we're going to be hopping onto State Highway 70 right up here. Coming up here on our left is one of the Caltrans fire response centers. I got a couple helicopters there and whatnot, so very cool California fire response team. And we are getting ready to turn left onto South Avenue off of, this is 99, and head into Corning, California and get a charge. And here we are, Corning, California Supercharger. Corning is an olive town, so we will get hooked up. All right, so we made it to Corning, California. We are at a version 2 supercharger. It is a 6-stall supercharger, but they also have an additional 4 of the 72 kilowatt destination chargers, or excuse me, 3. So they have 3 72 kilowatts, 6 150s. As you can see, it's a relatively popular supercharger, and I think that's going to be the case all throughout California as we go through. So version 2. There's a Burger King, gas stations, Little Caesars, and a Best Western, typically, like you see back over there. So let's see what the car is doing. This is our first stop, and we are charging at only 56 because we have to share. Again, it's a busy charger. And we have covered 1,086 miles. And our next stop is going to be in Mount Shasta. So we will check back in a little bit. So we're still here in Corning. Don't be afraid to move chargers. So we were getting a piddly 56 kilowatts. I ran to the bathroom real quick. And when I came back, I was considering hooking up to the 72 kilowatt ones I just showed you. But they weren't very busy, or somebody left. So I moved the car, and now we're getting a good 116. So we've only got a few more minutes and we'll be ready to get on down the road to wherever the car wants to take us. So it looks like we're going to be charger hopping here a bit up through California, and I think that's probably due to how busy they are and just the route. So I'm overcharged. It's going to send us to Red Bluff to a V3, which is only 20 minutes away, to top up, and then we'll head to Eureka. So probably going to be an interesting trip today as we head up the chargers on the coast. And here we are in Cottonwood, California at what looks like a V3 supercharger. We're gonna pull in, charge up, and head back up to, I think, Shasta. And we are at a 12-stall V3 supercharger here in Cottonwood, California. We just stopped briefly to top up before we head to Eureka. We're gonna go up into the mountains, so we want lots of charge. Good place around here. There's a holiday market, Ace Hardware, gas station, so decent supercharger. It's about 109 degrees right now, and the car, if you didn't get it earlier, is doing 154, and we got about 20 minutes to go. So I'll check in before we leave. And yeah, the drive's been great. I-5 though, I mean, God, I-5 drivers are lazy. I'm already running into people going under the speed limit in the left-hand lane just camping out. But that's a problem for another day. We'll check in later. We're heading out of Cottonwood, California, on our way to Eureka to get a charge. Got 107 miles to go, and we left the supercharger at 75% state of charge. Yeah, it's 111 degrees out right now. It's ridiculous. Car thinks we've got 126 miles of range, and we're averaging 439 watt hours a mile. Total distance traveled, 1,122 miles. And for those of you wondering, we are practically back at sea level. The town we just left was at 452 feet above sea level. So, thanks for joining us. I'll check in with you when we head into the mountains. Yeah, there in front of us we have the beautiful California mountains. We're going to be headed up Mount Shasta here in just a little bit. Couple passes, and then, like I said, stop and get a charge in Eureka here in about an hour and a half or so. We got 86 miles to go, and the car projects us at 110 miles of range, so we got plenty of buffer. We're coming through, this is getting close to Redding here, and off to our left-hand side is one of the reservoirs. I think it's the Lake Shasta Reservoir, but I'm not 100% positive. Really beautiful spot. You'll see it here off to our left as we come around this corner, and onto the right if this truck doesn't block us. Stay in your lane, truck. He's still, yeah, watch him. He's creeping in. Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's cool.
There's some of the reservoir out there. Out that window. Kind of hard to see, but really, really sad to see the bathtub rings from the droughts. So. And you really got to watch these trucks through here. My wife's doing a great job. Unfortunately, this is the lowest it's been, and it's going to keep getting lower because there's not a lot of snowpack. So that's why I really want to encourage people to drive EVs and work renewable. That's what I'm trying to do with this, everything I got. So. All right, well, check back in with you in a little bit. And more of the lake. I'd love to see in the comments if you guys want to see us take a trip somewhere. Please make suggestions. We're open to them. We'd love to bring you more of this beautiful country as we travel it. So. My video that I made, the 2 video Reno, I apologize the way it ended. I hadn't planned on it being quite that way. My camera got a little hot and the files got corrupted, and I was working with bad Wi-Fi, so my editing was a little bit poor towards the end, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, we're seeing a fair amount of fire damage as we come down off the pass here. So I'd share it with you. There's a cool railroad bridge there off to the left. Very cool. I imagine that's got some history to it. And a little bit more of the scenery on my window. We've been using full self-driving FSD version 10.12, and it's been working wonderfully. Haven't had any real problems. Sometimes I get impatient and I take it out, but the car has been doing really well. I have no complaints other than turn signals, random turn signals, or lack thereof. But we're working on it, and we should be getting version 10.69 this weekend. And so look for some videos coming soon with me trying out the new version of FSD on the Harold's Market run. I still owe you a Chuckanut Drive run, and yeah, my left-hand turns home. So, yep, definitely had a lot of fires come through here. Hopefully I got the zoom set high enough that you can see this okay. And this traffic, again, as soon as you seem to get onto I-5 in Washington, Oregon, California, you get the worst drivers. We have 2 people camping in the left lane, taking turns, getting in front of each other, and then slowing down and then going around, and it's just like, just get in the right lane and stay there. Anyway, I miss the traffic where it's much more courteous and well-mannered, and people recognize if you're going slow, get in the right. Really cool rock formations that we hopefully will see here. Again, this is just a really, really beautiful part of I-5, minus the drivers. Oh wow, here comes a great view. From Yreka, California. I'm going to get a charge and then head into Oregon. And right through these trees, we should get a good view, quick view of those rocks. Yeah, very, very cool. Really cool views there up in front of us. We're coming up on the town of Mount Shasta. There is a supercharger there, but we're going to go past it. And again, going on to Wairika. The car, let's say it's 36 miles to the supercharger, and we have 39 miles of projected range. So we're going to get in just right with a nice low state of charge, so we can charge extra quick. I'd say it's I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it might be a little out of spec style, going in single digits. We'll see when we get there. And we'll get some views of Mount Shasta here off to the right. And you'll notice one thing definitely missing. Snow. No snow. So, here's hoping we get some heavy rains and water that kind of helps with this drought. My daughter and son-in-law live in California, so I would very much like to see them be able to stay and not get chased away because the water runs out. So we just summited Black Butte Pass at 3,917 feet, and we're going back downhill now. So those numbers the car was showing should get better. We've got 30 miles to go and 33 miles of projected range. And we're all downhill, so we should not have any issues. We'll let you know when we get into Wairika. And there is beautiful Weed, California. Oh, we're rolling through here on our way to Wairika. This is like a high desert plain kind of. We're at 3,000 feet elevation. And you can see the mountains in front of us that we're going to head over once we get our charge into Oregon. So we will be going to Myrtle Creek next, and then our last stop is a Hilton Garden Inns with EV charging, so we can pull right in, plug in, and relax for the night. Alright, so we have 12 miles projected to go, and now the car says we've got 36 miles of projected range. So again, you just want to be watching your route, watching your state of charge, watching your speeds, and then just kind of manage it. And if you know you're going up a hill, well, odds are you're going back down, and while you won't recover all of the energy you use going up, you do get some of it going back down, and it helps your range. So very good trick. I use that all the time. I watch my projected range. I got it set on a 30-mile average, so should be getting a charge here shortly. All right, and here we are pulling into the Wairika Supercharger. We'll let you know what type it is. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a V3. Lots of stalls. Alright, we got in with a 11% state of charge. It's a V3, and we are doing about 175 kilowatts. Oh, it's cranking up a little more. Good, good, good. So the car thought we had 33 miles left when we pulled in. And so far we've gone 1,230 miles. Boy, we're really good at these round numbers on our trips. Let's take a look and see what's out here. So we have what looks to be a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 stall V3 supercharger here in Wairika. Not super busy right now. There's a Walmart down there. All right, we are headed out of Wairika. We've got 68% state of charge, and we're headed to Myrtle Creek, Oregon, 128 miles. Traffic is kind of crappy, but Nicole will make it. So. All right, we'll see you in Oregon. Here we come now up on our next pass. Mount Shasta is behind us, and I wasn't quick enough on the camera. There was a really cool dragon sculpture off to the right back behind us. So if you're on this route, be on the lookout for it. Very, very cool. Yeah, very, very pretty. We summited at about 3,000 feet. If you'll remember back where we were down about 300, and now we came back up, and now we're going back down. Headed into Oregon. We've got 116 miles to go, but this is just a beautiful view. This vistas coming down out of here is just amazing. My family makes fun of me for the way I say beautiful, but it is very, very pretty through here. So, thank you for sharing this with us. Check back in when we get a little further down the road. Hey, here we are. We're driving along the upper Klamath River as we head into Oregon. Lots of pretty rocks going on. Again, a very, very pretty drive through here. Northern California is beautiful through the I-5 corridor. All right, we just passed into Oregon. We are in Ashland, Oregon, and we are just about to get stuck behind some trucks as the left lane closes. So, 103 miles to go, but I want to let you know we made it safe into Oregon. Yeah, here we are coming down. We were at 4,000 feet, and now we're headed back down the pass here. Very, very beautiful. Let's see what the car thinks. We've got 99 miles to go, and it thinks that we've got 84 miles of range. But we're going downhill, so that again, right, you don't want to get too worried. The car has a pretty good idea. It uses elevation change, weather reports, wind, tire pressure, even how much you're using the AC and the charging outlets for your phones and whatnot. So the car's using all that information to figure out how much juice you need to get to where you're going. So we tend to trust it, but we're also careful, right? Trust but verify. So here we go, elevation 4,000 feet as we head down the mountain. Dealing with a little bit of road construction as we head down the pass. Just wonder what this costs the economy, all this road construction, if they ever study it, because this lane has been shut down for miles now, and I haven't seen anything going on. And meanwhile, we're going less than 40 miles an hour down a major interstate, hauling, goods for the economy. But at least we got lots of pretty stuff to look at. And just look at the smoke coming off of this guy's brakes. Holy macaroni, man. He is hot. Hopefully he doesn't need a runaway truck ramp, but he's been puffing gray clouds of smoke for about a mile. There is Oregon's Welcome Center and Rest Area. They definitely have a little bit on us as far as nice facilities compared to Washington. Washington, we have to close ours on the weekends so people aren't having gay sex and doing heroin. So, and that's the truth. They shut them down because people are doing all kinds of weird stuff. Nothing wrong with it. Just don't do it in the Washington State rest areas, right? All right. Yeah, so just following up with everybody on the going downhill, right? You can see here now we've got 87 miles to go, and projected range is now 134 miles, and that's all because we went downhill. You can see our energy chart there. So again, just keep an eye on what you're doing, watch your usage, and don't get too freaked out if you see some numbers that don't jive with what you're thinking. Remember, what goes up must come down. Really cool butte out here in my right window as we travel through Medford. Really, really cool scenery. And here we are pulling up to the Myrtle Creek Superchargers in Oregon. They look like they're a V3. And we've got about a 13% state of charge. And it should only take about 20 minutes. We're going to grab a bite to eat. And the car thought we had 38 miles left. and I'll check in here with you in a little bit. So I am here at a V3 Supercharger in Myrtle Creek, Oregon. It is a 8-stall V3 Supercharger. Looks to be 2, 4, 6, 7, yep, 8 with a pull-through or a handicap spot. Lots of white Teslas, and I can say that because I was willing to pay for my color, even though it was free when they offered it, which I was happy about. Lots of good stuff around here, but nothing wrong with that, right? Like, you take whatever you can get. We got to stretch into these things, so I was really happy it was a free color. Got a grocery outlet, Dollar Tree, Tractor Supply, and then there's a really good A&W right on the other side here, in the truck stop, and a McDonald's over the other way. So V3 Supercharger here in Myrtle Creek, Oregon. Doesn't look like it's too crowded. It's right off of the freeway. The car says we have enough charge to continue our trip. And we so far have done 1,360 miles. So we got a little bite to eat in the restaurant. And I'm just getting the car ready to go. And as soon as they get back, we're going to take off and head to the hotel in Springfield. So thanks for joining us on this trip so far. And we're here safe and sound in Springfield, Eugene, Oregon. I've got Amos plugged in next to this beautiful Model S 70D. And as always, we're going to be getting electrons all night. The car thinks about 9 hours and 20 minutes at 6 kilowatts. So pretty dang good. And I am excited to go relax. So we'll check with you in the morning as we head out and head home to Washington State in Anacortes. Thanks for joining us today. Well, good, beautiful morning. You are joining me outside of the Hilton Garden Inn in Springfield, Eugene, Oregon, as we're getting ready to head home on the last leg of our trip from Reno. So why don't you come along? Let's have a great time. There's a few things I'd like to show you. A couple Supercharger stops we'll be at. And yeah, if I come across anything cool or some nifty tips, I'll share those with you. So where are we at? Well, we've got a 90% state of charge. I charged the car overnight, so it thinks we have 193 miles to go. And let's just put in home. And we have 121 miles to go until we reach our first charge in Vancouver, Washington. So we used our awesome free hotel charging, and now Amos is ready to run. Simpsons town, Springfield, is based on Springfield, Oregon. So there's Chief Wiggum and Lisa. There's Amos. And then you have Mr. Burns there across the way. You can see him there. And then there is this beautiful mural here across the street. So very, very cool. Little glimpse at Springfield. There's some other neat art that they've got around town here. So anyway, just wanted to bring you that cool little thing before we head off, getting our pictures done. So anyway, we'll check back in if we see something neat on the road. Otherwise, we're going to be stopping in Vancouver, Washington for our first supercharge. We've got about an 86% state of charge, and we'll check back in a little while. Well, we're rolling through Albany, Oregon. Traffic is decent, but kind of crappy. It's terrible trying to get around all these trucks. So I'm trying to be safe and not make people car sick, but it's not being so successful in the car sick part. But man, this traffic, the truck gets in the left lane, goes hella slow, everybody gets behind him, nobody gets over in the pockets, and then you just are going 60 the whole way. So anyway, enough of my complaining. Albany, Oregon, we've got 63% state of charge. We're heading to Vancouver, about 79 miles to go. A little pretty feature here off to our left as we go around this truck again. Yeah, isn't that cool? The Oregon Drive is very pretty, but again, can be aggravating. And we are just going through Portland here, headed across the bridges over the Columbia River and into Washington State. So far, it's been a beautiful drive. See everything going on down there. Portland is a really cool city. Hopefully the traffic isn't too jacked up. We can get through nice and easy. So far, so good. So we'll check with you when we get to our supercharger. All right, Oregon thanks us for visiting. We are headed across the Columbia River on the giant green bridge. And we will be crossing into Washington State here in just a moment. And there we are, folks, Washington State. Yay, we're back home. And here we are, Vancouver Supercharger. Gonna grab a quick charge and maybe a little breakfast for the kiddos at the Fred Meyer. All right, hey, so we made it to Vancouver, Washington. We are connected to the Supercharger. You're familiar with this one. It's been in other videos of mine. It's a version 2 12 stall here in Vancouver. There's a Fred Meyer. But I just wanted to talk briefly about driving habits, right? I traded with my wife because going through I-5 through Washington makes me mental. There's like two kinds of drivers: aggressive, they want to get where they want to go, and laid back. I guess there's three, and then people that are just shouldn't be on the road. I'm one of the aggressive ones. I want to set the speed limit. I want to go the speed limit. I want to get in the left lane, pass you. I want to get in the right lane, let you pass me if you're going faster. I go insane when I get stuck behind people doing the speed limit or below the speed limit or just camping in the left lane. And so I make people car sick because I, use all three lanes of traffic like you're supposed to pass, and I accelerate and corner. So Nicole, my wife, wants to take over. Don't blame her. She's a much more laid back driver. She doesn't camp in the left lane, but she doesn't get aggravated like I do when people waste my time. But I do want to show you a little trick in the car that can help with that. So normally when I'm driving, I leave the car in what's known as sport mode. That's under pedals and steering. And I like to leave it in sport acceleration and sport handling. It tightens up the steering rack electronically a little bit. It doesn't do anything with the actual suspension. And you get much better pedal response under sport, like immediate acceleration, which has a tendency to whip people back and forth, ergo car sickness. So when I'm trying to be considerate and traffic isn't driving me insane, I will put the car in chill mode and steering in comfort. And what that means is now the steering pedal gets remapped so that it is much less sensitive. You can basically push the pedal all the way to the floor immediately and the car won't just jump away from you in acceleration. It'll ease into it kind of like an ice car. And the steering rack electronically gets lighter, so the turning isn't quite so boom, 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 boom. So chill mode and comfort steering is good. And I just wanted to talk briefly about that. These cars can have a tendency to exaggerate car sickness in people that have it, and bring it on sometimes in people who don't, just because there is so much torque, so much acceleration, they handle so well, and it really depends on the driver. And like I said, I'm an aggressive driver. I'm going to use all the lanes, and I'm going to just try and get where I'm going at the speed I want to. And if you don't get out of my way, well, I'm going to honk at you and go around. And unfortunately, that can be kind of hard on passengers. So I'm switching, and just thank you so much for joining me. We are going to head now where next? We are going to Vancouver. Oh, we're headed to Vancouver, Washington for a charge. Or no, excuse me, Federal Way. We were in Vancouver. We're headed to Federal Way. We should get there in about an hour, or 1:34. And let's look at our trip. So far, Reno, we've covered 1,587 miles, 526 kilowatt hours, 331 watt hours a mile. And guess what? The car just turned over 14,000 miles, and we bought it in March. We got it in March. So we've been putting some mileage on. Okay, we'll check back with you in a little while. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe, please, please, please. I love making this content for you. Here is bumper-to-bumper traffic right outside Battleground, Washington, and it goes on past Ridgefield all the way up to the Paradise Point State Park. So even here in southern Washington, I-5 is a mess and a waste of taxpayers' dollars. And this economy runs on these arteries, and then they hold up all this traffic. So between the crappy drivers and the unneeded length of time that they're holding us up, I just can't imagine it is cheap. But anyway, I'll quit complaining, and hopefully we get through it soon. Like literally all of that, we're now going almost the speed limit just so merging could take place. Like it baffles me that people don't understand traffic signs. But anyway, we're moving again. Thanks. And there you have it, folks. That is worth almost an hour of our time. I know they need to do it, but it would certainly seem to be something better done in the evening, or a little bit better traffic warning, because again, here off to the left we've got a very cool place. It is a Portland, hang on, I'll tell you. It is Portland Pacific, what does that say? I can't even read that. Well, anyway, some kind of industrial facility, and then there's also a motor and compressor company there.
Vacuum pumps. I said
Vacuum pumps, yeah, vacuum pumps, my bad. So, very cool. We're heading towards Longview and Kalama area. Bit of an industrial area. Longview is actually a good place to look for work if you're into industry and automation, instrumentation, electrical, all that kind of stuff. There's lots of facilities, industrial facilities. There's even an explosive manufacturer. You just drive along the Columbia River Gorge, or Columbia River Basin, heading west instead of east, and you run into all kinds of stuff. So anyway, we're going good speed again, finally. They were striping the road. Why they are doing that in the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday, I don't know, but that slowed everybody down to about 45 for about, 8-10 miles. It wasn't very cool. Anyway, we are headed to Federal Way. We'll be there in about, a couple hours, and we'll check in with you down the road. Oh, cool, look at that. Ship loading there. McMinimans, yeah. Lots of cool stuff to see through here. Just forgive my diatribes on the traffic. It's a point of contention for me on the West Coast. So this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. This guy is going 80, 79, camping in the left-hand lane with this lane wide open, and we want to go around and pass because his speed fluctuates. He goes down to 77, he goes up to 82, he slows down around corners, but he will not get over. And we try and pass him, and he accelerates. So it's just like, what is wrong with people? Slow down. Here we have a carload of Teslas headed up to
probably Canada.
Either Canada or the Bellevue Linwood stores for delivery. And we got around our buddy, but he didn't seem to like it. So anyway, onward and upward. All right, I got a kick out of this. I just wanted to show you real quick. So our buddy is back in front of us. He's now going, he's slowing down because there's a car coming, but he was doing a fair amount above the speed limit, even over us, because I think Nicole hurt his manhood. She passed him, safely with all proper road instructions, etc., because he was just driving inconsistently and crappy, and he got irritated, and like I said, I think she hurt his feelings, so he passed us, and now he's maintaining a speed that lets us do our speed. So anyway, kind of funny, but traffic is just weird. Drivers are weird. And here we got another load of Teslas, second load we've seen today, all in the free color except for one black one. So cool. As an investor, I love seeing truckloads of Teslas heading to soon-to-be satisfied, happy customers. All right, so the car has redirected us. We were going to go to Federal Way and take 405 home, but it has decided it is smarter for us to stop at Tumwater, even though we have a high state of charge. We'll top off in Tumwater, and then we're going to take I-5 all the way home. So again, the car's paying attention to the traffic and to road conditions, everything going on, and it's dynamically routing and planning for us. So we're going to take this route, and it'll be faster, and hopefully we get home sooner. So we'll see you when we get to Tumwater. All right, we are pulling up to our
Pepsi truck.
Tesla Supercharger here in Tumwater. It's a bit of a shit show. Just drive through the gasoline bay. They ice us. We can EV them. So it's a version 2. I believe it is an 8 stall. You can see it's somewhat popular. And yeah, we'll check back in when we start charging. All right, we are at the Tumwater, Washington Supercharger, and it is a V3 Supercharger at a truck stop. There's a McDonald's, a Subway, a Cinnabon. So good Supercharger, filling up as you can see. We got a few people coming in. Let's see what we're doing on the screen. Whew, it's loud here too. So we are at 53 kilowatts, and we are going to sit here for about 10 more minutes. So we'll be topped up, and this is our last charge of the Reno trip. And again, it's a V3 in Tumwater, Washington. So thank you very much for joining us. We're going to get down the road, and when we get closer to home, I'll check back in with you. And there in front of us, as we go under this overpass, off to the right, kind of peeking above the trees, is the Washington State Capitol Dome. So we are just heading through Olympia. Finished our charge in Tumwater. Car is figuring we got about 3 hours and 15 minutes or so to go. It's about 145 miles. So
I'll get us home in 2.
Nicole thinks she'll get us home in 2, but I'm skeptical. We'll see what traffic looks like. We'll check in a little bit. Just rolling through Olympia, Lacey area. And yeah, the traffic is just, seems to be no real reason for it, but traffic is crappy. We're moving at about 50 miles an hour and stop and go, and I can't tell why. Washington, the state where everybody camps in the left lane and tailgates but never goes the speed limit. Pretty sick truck, yeah. Like, why? I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. Like, I just don't know. And I don't know if that's even legal, right? Don't you need fender flares over that? Anyway.
They like getting 3 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. Sick. See, like, really hard to keep clean, you know? I don't know. Everybody, to each their own. So we are literally in, like, I don't know if it's the world's narrowest carpool lane, but it is pretty narrow. And it just goes to show, like, we are spoiled with ADAS, especially autopilot, but I mean, a lot of the systems are pretty good, where you just start to see how inconsistent drivers are. They're weaving into our lane constantly. We went by 5 cars. Each one of them kind of dipped into our lane a little bit before we went around. So, yeah, big fan of ADAS and autopilot especially, and FSD is doing great. Amos is keeping us safe. The other drivers, no bueno. A little better view of the Tacoma Dome coming here back northbound on I-5. Heading through Tacoma, lovely Tacoma. T-Town, yeah. Traffic's kind of dumb, but it's to be expected. Again, everybody just camping in the left-hand lane. Here is Wild Waves Enchanted Village Theme Park on our right-hand side. It's not open year-round because our weather isn't permitting for that, but, you know, cool thing for the kiddos if you're up in this way in the summertime.
Or you live here. They're hiring.
Or you live here, and yeah, they're hiring. Apply. And just looking at all the lovely traffic, right? We were actually just talking about maybe starting to go up through Canada, so go north and then east, because like this is just, it's kind of a trip killer. You know, you have a good time, you're out seeing all of the great views, and then to try and get home, it's like just a nightmare of traffic, no matter when, unless it's like, you know, 2 a.m. So, yeah, good brainstorming sessions we're having on how to make this more enjoyable and not have to bring you my diatribes about traffic and looking at us creeping along. And you can see the Seattle skyline off in the distance there, and it is unfortunately shrouded in smog, really, or actually it's probably smog and smoke from some of the Canadian wildfires. Really unfortunate. So we are just passing through SeaTac, headed home. So we got about 93 miles to go, just a little over 2 hours, and we're at a 64% state of charge. The car thinks that we've got 179 miles worth of range left. And we've got a Polestar right up here, Polestar 2 right here on our left. And that is just a beautiful color. And I love those yellow highlighted brakes. Here we've got, again, beautiful shot of, sorry about that, of the Seattle skyline off in the distance. And there is the Port of Seattle down there. You can see the Space Needle off there. T-Mobile Park. The Link, yep. And then, yeah, port facilities, etc. as we creep through Seattle traffic. And there we have the old Rainier Brewery. For anybody that remembers the old Rain beers. Yeah, remember the motorcycle commercial? Yeah. And then the Rain beers running along the beach. So that's it right there. It's now a research facility for a company. I think it's like Zomotic Genetics or something. You can see our stadiums there off in the distance again. T-Mobile Stadium and the, what is it, the Link now?
Yeah, well, Century Link or something.
Yeah. Beautiful city, the Emerald City. If anybody ever wants to come visit and you haven't, I highly recommend it. Lots of cool things to do here.
Oh, I bet all these people are going to Comic-Con.
Oh, could be. Yeah, we're going to be going to Comic-Con ourselves on Saturday, so I might bring you some interesting shots of that. Another Seattle skyline shot. We are in line for the express lane. You can pop over here into this right lane and try and zipper your way in, but it's also an exit, and so people that are new to the freeway or not real familiar get confused. They don't know if they need to exit, if they need to get in the express lane, or what. So it just becomes a nightmare up here. So sometimes it's better just to wait your turn and not get rear-ended. Funny enough story, on our way down, we were in traffic similar to this, and a car hard stopped behind us, and the car behind him actually rear-ended him. And to add to the problem, the guy that got rear-ended just hopped out in the middle of traffic to go assess the damage. It was the wildest thing on the freeway. So yeah, you got to be careful around here and just take it easy. An unfortunate thing, but reality. There's one of our homeless camps here in Seattle. See a few more as we go by. They're typically around these overpasses. And there's one. There's one. Homelessness is a problem around here, and it's a social problem that we need to deal with. Poor people need a place to stay, and honestly, most of the people that would live here have been priced out. Seattle's incredibly expensive to live in because of all of the high-tech industry. Amazon's here, Microsoft, Google has offices. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So, unfortunate problem, and I hope it's one that we work out as a society, because we should all love and take care of each other. now they're practically on top of us, our skyscrapers. Yeah, so here is our fun intersection. Again, as you can see, right, you got these cars coming up from the left. They tend to know where they're going, hopefully, but then if they don't, they might try and cut in here into this lane.
It's actually the right.
Or off to my right, yeah. And then you don't know if these people in this left lane get tripped out and need to go back into their right lane. So anyway, hopefully the express lane pays off, but at this point, we're still going 8 miles an hour. Yeah, there we passed another one. Sorry for the noise. We might see another one too. And I should have mentioned, a lot of these folks are working, so it's so damn expensive. Even working full time, a lot of them can't afford rent. So anyway, so there's a pretty good view of the traffic. We've been consistently going about 40 miles an hour in the HOV lane, and both myself and Nicole have remarked, oh, thanks, bud, thanks, come on in, have remarked that at least we're moving. So yeah, 3:30 on a Thursday, and there you can see it's just practically bumper to bumper all the way until we get to the Highway 2 interchange in Everett. Marysville. There it is. You can see it's kind of north and southbound. Not terrible there on the southbound lanes, but northbound, yeah. So there is somebody's F50. They modified a Geo Metro, put a roll bar on it, and some trail lights. At least when we were sitting in traffic, you get to see some interesting things. Yeah, that's not a cool place to be stopped.
I know.
Anyway, still heading through. Here you can see.
He looks like O'Hare.
On the map here, all that red is traffic. And that is part of what you get for $10 a month with Tesla, is premium connectivity. And there it ends in Marysville, just like always. For some weird reason, that is the spot where you come over a little bridge and all the traffic opens up. And until then, it's just nothing but a mess. So anyway, thank you for joining us. We're having a great time with you, and love bringing you all these sights and interesting things we see. So to the left of us is our Amazon distribution center, and to the right of us are the North Cascade Mountains, and in the front of us is the traffic. Still, yeah. But we're close. We're so close. So I'll even get it on camera. You'll see the moment it happens. So here we are, just creeping along again, and then in a little bit you'll see when it breaks up.
And what's this?
All right, so we are creeping up this hill. We're going about 26 miles an hour. Marysville is going to be off to our right here. And just as we crest this hill, somebody's cut somebody off right there. It's just an absolute S show in here.
Watch you, bud.
Right, there's somebody else cutting somebody else off. And the traffic's just creeping along again, 24, 25. Beautiful day. It's 87 degrees here in Marysville. And it didn't open up yet, but it will, just up over this next rise. All right, now we're getting ready to come over the second crest here, just before Marysville, and it should open up. For whatever reason, all of this crazy traffic will just all of a sudden at least get a little bit better. And you're going to watch me eat my words on film here as we come over this rise and nothing changes. But typically that's what happens. This is a 3-lane interstate, by the way. 70 mile an hour speed limit. 60 through here, I guess, but still.
And we're doing 30.
Yeah, 30, and we're pinching our brakes. now you should be able to start picking up a little bit of speed. And
Now keep left to stay on Interstate 5.
Shit, didn't happen.
yeah, and as you can see,
did not happen.
it's still not going to happen. Yeah, it's even backed up further yet. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess you're not going to see the magically opening traffic. And there it happened. A little bit about a mile further than I thought it would, but now we're up to our speed limit. Now we're just dealing with all of the guys wanting to get home as fast as they possibly can. And I sympathize, because the left lane is for passing. All right, and we are going to be pulling into one of our famous Washington State rest areas, the ones that they close down at night on weekends, or during the weeknights, for illicit activities that go on. Yeah, I mean, like look at this.
What are you doing?
Like, people come in hot off of this,
Are you?
and here you are stopped.
Come on.
Hopefully not broken down, I guess, but like super freaky dangerous. God, Washington, come on. So anyway, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get home. We got 42 miles to go, 42% state of charge, and yeah, things are going good. We can finally finish out the rest of the trip, probably at the speed limit. So I know this look is probably more common in other parts of the country. We don't see it a lot around here, some, but again, I don't think it's legal even. Like, you gotta have some kind of fender guards. So anyway, yeah, good luck. Yay for you, buddy. And here's one of the best parts of driving home, dropping down into Skagit Valley. So we always like to see this. It tells us, oh, we're close. You can see the mountains there off in the distance up to the north. You get some Canadian mountain ranges, as long as we just call them North American mountains, right? North American mountain ranges to the north. So anyway, we're dropping down into the valley, and we are close to home. We've got 30 miles to go and about 38 minutes to get there. So, and here we have a beautiful coal train rolling through Mount Vernon, headed up north. And I know it's necessary still, but God, I hope we can get away from it as quick as we can, because it's a dirty way to power our nation and continent. So we're just sitting here waiting for the train to go by, and then we will be headed out to Highway 20 into the beautiful San Juans and Anacortes. So for anybody not familiar with this area, especially for anybody not from North America, this is the Skagit Valley, and it's famous for its tulips. We get the bulbs over from Holland and propagate them, whatever, and then they dig the bulbs up and sell them back over there. And we have about 3 or 4 weeks where it is just field after field after field of every colored tulip you can imagine, and it is just amazing, if you don't mind the traffic. So this is that area. If you have never seen it and you're in Europe and you're wondering what it looks like, this is Skagit Valley, where the tulips are planted, and this is the actual farmland where they are planted. It got so crazy busy, that they had to move them further away from these main routes. But in the past, yeah, these are the fields where you would see tulips planted all the time. Now they're a couple miles to the west. A little footage there of our casino and the San Juan Islands and Fidalgo Bay. As we head home, coming up over the hill here, we're going to get a view of the oil refineries. There's 2 of them. There is it's a Husky refinery now and a Marathon refinery, but the original refineries built in the 50s was a Shell oil refinery in the back. It's got the big one, it's Mount Marathon, and then a Texaco refinery in the front, and that is now the Husky refinery, and you can see that there as we crest the hill. Those derricks there on the left-hand side, that's the coker. That's where they make coke. It's an end product from oil refining. And then, the towers there. So, anyway. Man, there's a little more view of the Husky refinery, originally Shell. Ford dealership, lots of ICE vehicles. We have seen a number of EVs on this trip. We saw a Polestar I got on film, but we've seen lots of Mach-E's, ID4s, Chevy Sparks. We saw a BMW i4, and I think I saw a new Genesis GV60, but I'm not 100% positive. So great seeing all the EVs out and about, and yeah, almost home. Right, and here's the obligatory "we are home" shot. As we crest this hill, we've got a beautiful view of the Canadian Olympics and the bay. Final distance traveled is going to be 1,829 miles. I don't think it's going to roll over before we pull into the driveway. Oh, 1,830. There we go. So total distance traveled, 1,830 miles. And we are home. Hey, thank you for joining us. We'll be bringing you some other trips in the future. I had a great time, and I hope you did too. Again, like and subscribe, please, if you enjoy these, and I'll try and make more. Comments always help too. I want to hear from you, so thank you.